word adelphos could also apply in this case to describe people that they have the same adoptive father, Joseph, but different mothers, Joseph's first wife and his second wife. Can
Yeah.
it be used in this case without contradicting Scripture?
Adelphos. During my debate on Pints with Aquinas with Trent Horn from Catholic Answers on the Marian dogmas, Trent asked if the Greek word adelphos to describe Jesus' brothers in Mark 6 could refer to older stepbrothers, which was the view of Jerome. However, paragraph 500 of the Catechism of the Catholic Church eliminates this as an option. The Church has always understood these passages as not referring to other children of the Virgin Mary. In fact, James and Joseph, brothers of Jesus, are the sons of another Mary, a disciple of Christ, whom St. Matthew significantly calls the other Mary. They are close relations of Jesus according to an Old Testament expression. The Catechism then cross-references this other Mary to Matthew 27, verse 56, who is described as Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, who is also referred to as Mary of Clopas in John 19, verse 25. Although the Catechism affirms the Roman Catholic dogma of the perpetual virginity of Mary, it also denies Jesus' brothers could be older stepbrothers from an alleged previous marriage of Joseph, since they would be sons of this other Mary, not the sons of Joseph's alleged previous wife, which is based on the mid to late 2nd century false gospel of the Proto-Evangelium of James, not Scripture nor the Catechism. This older stepbrother theory, which both Jerome and Trent hold to, not only conflicts with the Catechism of the Catholic Church, but also conflicts with Scripture itself. Catholic author, New Testament scholar, and distinguished research professor Brant Petrie and Catholic author John David Lewis in his book Journey with Joseph also argues against Jesus having older adult step-siblings, arguing from Luke chapter 1 that unlike Zacharias, who's described as an old man, presbytus in Greek, verse 18, Joseph is described as merely a man, a ner in Greek, verse 27. If Joseph was elderly, he would not have been physically able to make the long trek from Galilee to Bethlehem for the census, then to the temple in Jerusalem for Jesus' purification, then back to Bethlehem, then fleeing to Egypt, then back to Galilee. Also, why did Luke not mention these older sons of Joseph traveling with Joseph and Mary to Bethlehem for the census with their own families, since they also would have been traveling from Nazareth, having been physical descendants of King David? Furthermore, when Matthew is writing Jesus' genealogy, if Jesus had older stepbrothers, Matthew most certainly would have mentioned them, just as he did with Judah and his brothers, verse 2, and Jeconiah and his brothers, verse 11, since they would have been alive when Jesus was born. Lewis further mentions there are 35 popes, doctors, saints, and theologians who support the young virgin Joseph versus 4 saints who support the elderly widower Joseph with sons from an alleged previous marriage. None of these 4 writing prior to the mid-4th century. Lastly, as I mentioned in the debate, Matthew 13 states Jesus had brothers and sisters. The Greek word kai, translated and, means the kinds of sisters of Jesus are also the same kinds of brothers of Jesus. The Greek word adelphos, translated sisters, only has 2 meanings in the Greek and used consistently in both the Old and New Testament. 1, biological sister, and 2, female believer. Since the New Testament states Jesus' brothers did not believe in him, John chapter 7, this leaves only 1 meaning faithful to the Greek and the Bible, biological brothers. Therefore, older stepbrothers is not an option. Click the link on the screen to watch my opening statement from my debate with Dr. Robert St. Genis, where I further explain why Jesus' sisters, and by extension his brothers, must refer to younger biological half-siblings.